Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we're taking a look at one of the newer Mattel Jurassic World Savage Strike figures. This is one that's kind of eluded me for quite some time. This is the Postosuchus, and I want to state a huge thank you to my buddy John Saculo, who was incredibly cool to purchase these and send them my way, help me get a hold of them because I was just having no luck whatsoever finding them in my area. He actually, as you can see kind of by the writing here on the front of the package, he actually purchased these from Amazon Japan and sent them to me, so he did go through quite a bit of work to get them, and I just want to state that I truly appreciate his kindness and just how awesome he is. Thank you so much to my buddy John Saculo. But again, this is a figure I have been looking forward to for so long. I love Postosuchus, and to have one from Mattel is just extremely exciting. I've had the mini for quite some time now, so having the actual Savage Strike version is definitely a gigantic moment for me because it's one I've been waiting for a very long time. And you can see as far as the packaging goes, we just have another look here at the Savage Strike Postosuchus here on the back, and there's probably a shot somewhere down here that shows some of the other Savage Strike figures that were included with this line, with this wave, I guess I should say actually, but the packaging here has kind of some stickers over it, so we don't really see those, but let's just go ahead and get this out of the packaging because I'm super excited to take a look at it. So here is our Postosuchus. We move him a little closer to the center, and I must say that at first glance, the figure looks absolutely beautiful, as per usual when it comes to Mattel. They don't ever seem to let me down when it comes to the sculpt of a new species, and this Postosuchus looks absolutely excellent in every possible way here at first glance. Really nice looking paint scheme as well. I actually quite like the bluish color, which is surprising for a Postosuchus to look as good as it does here with a bluish color. But let's go ahead and get a closer look at this figure right now. So starting up here at the head sculpt of our Postosuchus, you can see that it does sport some really nice scale detail here on the face. Definitely very nicely done. I feel like a nice dark wash would bring that detail out in beautiful fashion. The nostrils are sculpted out here in the front of the snout. The eyes are painted with kind of an orangish coloration and do seem to have like a slit-like pupil, which shockingly looks really cool on the figure overall. Of course, the jaw is articulated, but that helps with the kind of action feature. But to get an idea of what the inside of the mouth looks like, you can see a really nicely textured tongue there with a beautiful gloss coat over top of the entire inside of the mouth of our Postosuchus. Some pretty nice detailing there on the top of the mouth as well, but the nice gloss coat really gives it a beautiful appearance as far as like that saliva look, that very nice shiny wet look like you would expect to find inside the mouth of an animal like this. The teeth as well are painted pretty nicely for the most part. You can see they do look quite nice, and they are painted with an off-white, but there is definitely some sloppy paint to the upper jaw. As you can see, mine actually has quite a bit of sloppy paint to it, which is definitely a downside as far as the quality control issues from Mattel. They have slopped up the teeth of this one a little bit, but I don't think it takes away from the figure too much, and I'm just too excited to have it here regardless. I don't really care that much just because I'm so psyched to have this Postosuchus finally. But I love the way they painted this with kind of like a very dark black or a dark gray, and it kind of just litters all over the place on this and then mixes with the nice bluish coloration. You do have a white for the underside, the lower jaw, and then the underside all the way into like the stomach region almost, but otherwise you have a nice bluish color and then this darker coloration that kind of again just mixes with it all over the place, and it looks really cool and really natural, honestly, for the species. I think with a more realistic looking paint job, this coloration could look really good and fairly realistic for the species. As you start to move back into the body, you can see kind of like some osteoderms pick up, like some scoots that run down along the back of the animal, as well as some ridges that run along the spinal column, and somewhat of an armored type of a look to the back area of the Postosuchus. And then as you move down here into the side, you can continue to see some really nice texturing of the skin, more of that really nice scaly type of a look. You move down here into the front limb, you can see some really nicely defined musculature, as well as a really nice foot sculpt here, but unfortunately no painted nails, which is just kind of the way it goes, I guess. I really like the way the paint kind of like leaks down into the white as far as that blue as well. That looks really cool. Very nice detailing here, even on the underside. The skin texture actually looks really nice there as well, especially right here when we transition from the underside of the animal up into the side of the stomach. I love that area right there, kind of like some nice creasing and everything going on in the skin. It looks Very nice also. And you can see the spinal column continues to have those ridges as we move down the back of the animal, as well as that kind of armored look in those osteoderms or scutes, whatever you want to call them. Back here in the back, you can see some nice muscle definition in the thigh and then down into the calf, as well as a really nice foot sculpt back here as well. Nice scoots down the toes, but again, no nail paint. And then coming back up here, we do have that really beautiful skin texturing going on as we move out the length of the tail. The tail has a nice curve to it. Unfortunately, the darker paint stops dead pretty much right here, which is a bit of a downside, but it's something we're kind of accustomed to when it comes to Mattel. I really would have preferred the paint run the entire length of the tail, but that's just the way this one is, unfortunately. And then looking at the opposing side, you're going to see almost the exact same thing as far as the paint work and the sculpt work and all that fun stuff. You can see that the legs are in a different position, though, as the legs on the further side are spread apart. These ones are closer together, just kind of showing you the Postosuchus taking some steps and walking. Both the foot sculpts on this side look really nice like we had seen on the previous side. Both leg sculpts also look beautiful. We can pull these apart to see what's going on here in the stomach region. You can see kind of like some skin folding and stuff going on that we didn't really see too much on the previous side. But other than that, for the most part, it looks pretty much the same over here as to what we had seen on the previous side. But that also means that it is a really beautiful sculpt on both sides. And there is the Jurassic Facts app code if you would like to add this to your collection. But definitely a really nice looking Postosuchus, and I'm hoping to get another at some point to repaint. I would like to repaint one similar to the Walking with Dinosaurs Postosuchus, but again, a really cool looking figure, and I am super happy now to have this in my collection. As far as articulation goes, of course, you do have the articulated jaw, and then the tail articulates, but that activates the Savage Strike feature of our Postosuchus with the legs, the front legs or arms, whatever you actually choose to call them, because now I think it's believed that Postosuchus was bipedal as opposed to quadrupedal like you usually see it displayed as, but you can also see that the limbs move out away from the body, so now he pretends like he's trying to fly. There we go, there's our bipedal version of Postosuchus attempting to learn how to fly, but then we also have the rear leg articulation, and the legs do spread out away from the body a little bit, of course, not as far as what we see here on the front. But then the action feature, of course, a Savage Strike will be operated from the tail here. And we can see as we operate the action feature, we just have to turn it. So if we push it sideways, the mouth will open. And it opens really nice and wide, actually. Very nice action feature, really easily done and performed, definitely. A nice Savage Strike action feature. For a size, for a length on the Postosuchus, you're going to see it come in at about the 7¼ inch range or about the 18½ centimeter range. And for a height to the head, you're looking at about 1¼ inches or about 4½ centimeters. And then to the back, about 2¼ inches or about 5½ centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Golovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon next to our Postosuchus, showing you that, as per usual, as far as a Savage Strike figure goes, it's pretty close to the Attack Pack size range, and definitely one of the smaller Mattel figures out there. But again, we can't really expect much more as far as a Postosuchus goes, so I think it's fairly nicely sized overall, and hopefully these figures will help to show you that. So this Mattel Savage Strike Jurassic World Postosuchus is an absolutely awesome figure. I really like the sculpt on it. I think the sculpt looks very nice and shockingly doesn't really look all that much like the Walking with Dinosaurs version. It seems like most times when you get a Postosuchus, they're kind of modeled after the Walking with Dinosaurs version, but I feel like the head sculpt of this one actually looks quite a bit different than most Postosuchus figures usually do. It has just kind of like a bulkier head overall, which is something that I honestly didn't really expect. I kind of expected it to show up looking pretty much just like the BBC Walking with Dinosaurs version, and shockingly it doesn't, and that's really cool on the part of Mattel to kind of create like their own more unique version and not just sort of copy what others have done. And it seems, again, like most times with Postosuchus, that's more often what you get, but this Mattel version here I think definitely looks a good bit different, and the body overall is really nicely done as far as the detailing goes. Beautiful, very minute sculpt work as far as like the scale detail, the very nice armored look to the back and everything. I think it is really nicely sculpted overall. The only real downside to the figure, honestly, would be the little bit of sloppy paint in the teeth, and although it's definitely a little bit sloppy, I don't dislike the figure or anything at all because of that. It's just something that could have been improved upon on the part of Mattel, but it is what it is. I'd imagine probably not everybody's is like that, and I will be on the lookout for another, again, to repaint at some point, so if I find one with better painted teeth, then I'll probably repaint this one. But the paintwork does look really nice. The blue looks pretty natural, shockingly, on the figure, and that darker coloration, the way it litters down over the body, does look really neat as well. So overall, I think the figure is really nicely done and a very nice choice as far as the sculpt and paintwork goes on the part of Mattel. And then you combine all of that with the fact that you have a really cool action feature, and you've got yourself a surefire win as far as this Postosuchus goes. So if you would like to pick one of these up, your best bet is to continue to check Target, or I guess you could go purchase it from Amazon Japan, but you would have to buy the entire wave of Savage Strike figures, because that's kind of the only way you can get them, I think, from Amazon Japan. But again, definitely pick the figure up if you do happen to come upon it. It's a really cool Postosuchus figure, and make sure you also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.